Welcome back. You're watching Gravitas. Hong Kong has descended into violent chaos. Protesters blocked lawmakers from reaching their workplace, the Hong Kong government headquarters. This on a day when they were set to debate the controversial extradition bill in the city's legislature. Lawmakers could not reach the parliament and hence they couldn't vote on the bill. Protesters had barricaded the gates of the Legislative Council building. Initially, the protests in Hong Kong were not violent, but now there's a marked escalation in tensions. An online petition has called for 50,000 people to gather from 10 p.m. on Tuesday night. Tens of thousands of them had gathered peacefully outside the city's legislature before tempers flared and clashes erupted between the police and these demonstrators, with some of them charging at the police with umbrellas. It was a throwback to the last time that Hong Kong saw such massive protests, the umbrella revolution of 2014. Police used pepper spray, tear gas pellets and batons to force these crowds back. The debate on the legislation was eventually postponed, but by that time, protesters had blocked two main highways in central Hong Kong. A top Hong Kong government official warned citizens to get off the roads and not defy the law.
Hong Kong government calls on people who are blocking roads to leave the road and go back to the pavement as soon as possible, so that traffic can return to normal as soon as possible. I would also like to ask the people in this gathering to stay calm and leave the scene as soon as possible and not to commit any crime.
But that did little to contain the protests. Many local businesses shut shops in a sign of solidarity with the protesters. They also joined the strikes. Hong Kong's major student unions boycotted classes to attend these rallies, and they were supported by thousands of parents and teachers who also called for a boycott of work and classes to show their opposition to this proposed bill. Groups that normally abstain from the city's frequent marches and rallies chose to take part this time. Business associations, housewives, lawyers, church leaders, even horse racing columnists attended. They all vocally oppose the bill, and that's because they fear that China is slowly taking away Hong Kong's much-cherished autonomy. And this new law is the proverbial last straw on the camel's back. The extradition bill would allow suspects in Hong Kong to be sent to mainland China for trial, where the conviction rate is 98% or higher. Hong Kong's government says the legislative change will prevent the island from becoming a safe haven for criminals and plug a loophole in the island's judicial system. But the fear is that it will be used to stifle dissent and also legitimize Beijing's extrajudicial detentions of dissidents. The bill has provoked international condemnation. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi issued a statement against what she called a horrific extradition bill. These are her words. She said that if the law is passed, then the U.S. Congress would have to reassess whether Hong Kong has sufficient autonomy. Chinese media did not report on the protests on Wednesday, and mentions of the protests were scrubbed clean from Chinese social media platforms, even as the Chinese government reiterated its firm support for the extradition bill.
China's central government resolutely supports the Hong Kong SAR government in advancing the amendment to the two ordinances. What I can tell you is that any act that undermines Hong Kong's prosperity and stability is opposed by mainstream public opinion in Hong Kong. We have repeatedly stated that Hong Kong affairs are purely China's internal affairs. No other country, organization or individual has the right to interfere.
Now, this is the second round of mass protests in Hong Kong. An estimated 1 million people protested against the law on Sunday. It's Hong Kong's biggest political demonstration since its handover to China by Britain in 1997. That was done under a one country, two systems deal, which guaranteed Hong Kong special autonomy, including freedom of assembly, free press and an independent judiciary. This is what Hong Kong was promised in 1997. The new extradition bill has the potential to take away all of this. A final vote on the bill is expected on the 20th of June. But the protests are not set to abate, because if the bill succeeds in coming up for a vote, then its passage is all but certain, because the Hong Kong legislature is said to be dominated by loyalists of Beijing. Demonstrators have vowed to stay together for a prolonged stakeout. They have pledged to occupy the government complex until the extradition bill is retracted.